Baby girl was 5'9", she was bad and running.
What is up, y'all? This is your boy MTF, which stands for Mystic Timbers Fanboy, coming with a new video. And in this video, I will be talking about my top 14 roller coasters at Cedar Point. So Steel Vengeance won't be in this video, and a few other family coasters is because I've never rode Steel Vengeance, even though I had a second chance. And I'm too big to ride the two family coasters there. So let's get into the video. Coming in at number 14 is Cedar Creek Mine Ride, and that is Cedar Point's second oldest roller coaster, and Cedar Creek Mine Ride is Cedar Point's Aero Mine Train. So why is Cedar Creek Mine Ride at number 14 on the list? The reason is that this ride is really boring. It's really forceless. I mean, yes, I do give it credit for having a good duration, but the layout in general, everything about this ride really sucks, except the theming is just okay. But this is my least favorite coaster just in general. It's just so forceless. I can't wait until it really gets removed. It has no point or no history at Cedar Point. So coming in at number 13 is Valraven at Cedar Point. So Valraven is Cedar Point's B&M dive coaster. So you guys may ask, why is Valraven at number 13? The reason is Valraven is really forceless. It's boring. I hate the vest restraints on this ride. The vest restraints on Gatekeeper really don't bother me, but this ride's vest restraints are horrible, like Banshees. They should have just gotten the original B&M over the shoulder restraints. This ride in general is just really forceless. Like, I don't even know why they call it a thrill ride when it should be a tall kiddie coaster. I mean, if you guys didn't know, Valraven is the tallest dive coaster. So is Yukon Striker, except Yukon Striker only has a longer drop but the same height. So yeah, coming in at number 12 is Corkscrew, which is Cedar Point's Aero custom looping coaster. So you guys may ask, why is Corkscrew at number 12? So Corkscrew, just in general, is just a boring ride. It's a boring, rough ride. Its layout is really horrible. The duration is only like a few seconds. So I will give Corkscrew credit for being smooth. So Corkscrew, don't get me wrong, is smooth, but the transitions are horrible. That's all. And the trains on Corkscrew, yes, they look cool, but they're not designed for tall people. You can't really even move your legs when somebody's sitting right next to you, because I've had that problem on Corkscrew before. So coming in at number 11 is Gatekeeper. So Gatekeeper is a B&M wing coaster. So you guys may be asking, why is Gatekeeper at number 11? It's because I wouldn't really call Gatekeeper boring or forceless. I mean, it kind of is forceless, but Gatekeeper is just a okay roller coaster. There's really nothing special about it, except the head choppers and the near misses. That's really just the only good thing about Gatekeeper. This ride is just really like okay. It's kind of mediocre. It really doesn't pull any G's like I thought it would. Coming in at number 10 is Iron Dragon. So Iron Dragon is Cedar Point's aerodynamic suspended coaster. So you may be asking, why is Iron Dragon at number 10? Iron Dragon is just a okay roller coaster in general. It's not too bad and it's not too good, so it's just in the middle for me. Even though Iron Dragon has its ups and its downs, it's still a fun ride for families and older people. I do wish that Iron Dragon was a bit faster, but at least at the end of the ride, this ride is a little bit faster. But in the beginning, this ride is really slow. Coming in at number 9 is Magnum XL200. So Magnum XL200 is Cedar Point's aerodynamics hyper coaster. So you guys may ask, why is Magnum XL200 number 9 on my list? And the main reason it is number 9 is because of the restraints. So Magnum XL200 is a good ride, but the restraints are horrible, so I would not call Magnum XL200 forceless at all. I like the intensity of the ride, but the main problem I have with this ride, the con, is the restraints and the trains. The trains don't look too bad, they're an okay design, but it's just the restraints and everything. When you're going through the small little airtime hills, the train ends up hitting your back. That's what I don't like, and I don't like the padded restraints, which they claim it was padding, but it was only for the ride operators to see where the restraints are or go. I don't like those restraints either, is because your thighs end up getting stapled and they end up getting messed up after the end of the ride. If this ride got new trains, Magnum XL200 would have been higher on my list. So coming in at number 8 is Blue Streak at Cedar Point. So Blue Streak is Cedar Point's PTC wooden coaster. This roller coaster is the oldest roller coaster at Cedar Point still operating. So you guys may ask, why is Blue Streak number 8 in my opinion? So Blue Streak is a fun roller coaster. It's one of the best wooden coasters I've been on so far in my opinion. I like the speed of the ride. I really like the intensity of the ride. I know even though this ride is rough, it's like a fun type of roughness. And that's what I really like about this ride. If this ride was like really smooth, I believe this ride would really be boring, just in my opinion. It's not as bad as like other roller coasters when it comes to roughness. I think the roughness on this ride makes it a good thing instead of a bad thing. So that's my opinion on Blue Streak. So coming in at number 7 is Gemini at Cedar Point. So Gemini is Cedar Point's aerodynamics hybrid racing coaster. So I am a fan of Gemini. This is one of my favorite racing coasters I have been on. I really like this ride. I'm surprised, even though this ride has been built in 1978, it's still a really fairly smooth ride. I like the drop of the ride. That is my number one favorite part of the ride, is the first drop. The first drop may look boring and weak, but once you get on it and if you experience the forcefulness yourself, you will find out that this ride is not forceless at all. It's really steep. That's what I like about this ride. I would really be sad if this ride end up leaving for some GCI dueling inversion concept. I really wouldn't want that to happen. This ride is a classic, and I believe it deserves to stay. Coming in at number 6 is Rougarou at Cedar Point. So Rougarou is a B&M floorless coaster at Cedar Point. Rougarou used to be a stand-up coaster called Mantis. Mantis opened up in 1996, and it ended up closing in 2014, and later in 2015 it reopened as a floorless coaster and was named Rougarou. So why is Rougarou number 6 in my opinion? I like Rougarou because of its intensity and how forceful the ride is. Even though this ride is an old school B&M, this ride packs a punch. I really didn't think the roughness on Rougarou was bad like most people say it is. I really like the roughness. I know how to ride older roller coasters, so I don't get really much of a headbanger like most people do. So I really liked it, unlike most people. So coming in at number 5 is Raptor at Cedar Point. So Raptor is Cedar Point's B&M inverted coaster, or B&M invert for short. So why is Raptor number 5 in my opinion? I like Raptor because of its intensity. I like how it pulls you through the inversions. The forces pull you through the inversions and stuff. It's really a fun ride. Even though sometimes that ride can be a little bit of a headbanger, it's not as bad. It's way better than Rougarou in my opinion, but I like Raptor. It's like one of my favorite B&M inverts I've been on so far. I just like the sheer size and intensity of this ride. I like the restraints. I like the original over the shoulder restraints instead of the B&M vest restraints. So coming in at number 4 is Wicked Twister at Cedar Point. So Wicked Twister is Cedar Point's Intamin Impulse coaster. I'm a big fan of this roller coaster too. I don't know why this ride gets a lot of hate, to be honest, from some enthusiasts and most of the GP. This ride doesn't have a lot of long lines. This ride is usually a walk-on. So that's what I really like about Wicked Twister. Not just that, but the experience on Wicked Twister. I think Wicked Twister is just an intense. This ride looks scary, to be honest, because like you twist forwards, you go into the corkscrew forwards and backwards. So that's what the scary part of the ride is. Coming in at number 3 is Maverick at Cedar Point. So Maverick is Cedar Point's Intamin Butts coaster. This ride packs a punch, even though it looks little and short. This ride packs a punch. I like the sharp twists and turns. I like the inversions on this ride. The inversions are really fun. I wish this ride had more than like 3 trains, but I mean, this ride's still good. Usually it gets a lot of long lines, so you'd have to go early in the day to get your rides on Maverick. I just like the theming of the ride, because it's called, I think, Frontier Town. I like the theming of the ride. I like the tunnel where you stop and you see like the railroad crossings, and you hear like the trains and all that stuff. Like, I really like the Western theme to this ride. Like, this ride is one of my favorites at Cedar Point. Maverick is, and it'll be one of my favorites until I probably ride Steel Vengeance one day. Coming in at number 2 is Millennium Force at Cedar Point. So Millennium Force is a Intamin Giga coaster. It was the world's first Giga coaster. It opened in 2000, and it was the first roller coaster to beat the 300-foot barrier. So you may ask, why do I like Millennium Force? I like Millennium Force because of the speed and the restraints. The restraints, the lap bar, Intamin lap bars or the T-bars, are not that bad on Millennium Force. I just like the speed in general. I mean, I don't get why people call Millennium Force forceless. I don't understand. I mean, I understand it's not going to be as fast as like Fury 325 or Intimidator or Orion, which is going to open up this year, but I mean, Millennium Force is still a classic ride. Like, it's not that bad like most people say. Coming in at number 1 is the Top Thrill Dragster. So Top Thrill Dragster is Cedar Point's launch strata coaster, or an Intamin strata coaster. I could go on and on about how Top Thrill Dragster is, but I'm gonna keep it simple in this video. The main reasons I like Top Thrill Dragster is because of its speed. Like, you're going 120 miles per hour. That's something I've never felt in my life before. Of course, I've experienced Flight of Fear, but that was trash. I like the restraints on this ride too. The T-bars are way better on this ride instead of Millennium Force. Like, I just like the launch, the one inversion, and supposedly you could see Canada from Top Thrill Dragster if you look far enough. But like, this ride is really amazing. I'd suggest you guys to ride Top Thrill Dragster because the lines on Top Thrill Dragster get crazy. Like, them lines will be like 2 hours, 3 hours, or just an hour and a half just to ride Top Thrill Dragster. So ride it when you got the chance. Like, ride it early and just be done for the day. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the video. I will be uploading 4 roller coasters that open on my birthday. I will send the link in the description to that video. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.